Good evening, Newsgaper fans. This is Peter Henry, your creative director, and I'm here speaking with singer-songwriter AidenLeslie. Aiden, how are you?
Good, Peter. How are you?
I am good. A little bit of a cold, changing weather in Florida, but other than that, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, something seems to be going around. I hear you.
Yeah, you can't get away from it, unfortunately. It is the season. So,
Yeah.
Aiden, you're a busy guy. I know that much. It's hard to get you down there. You're moving and shaking and doing things, I hear.
Yeah. I'm trying.
You're trying. Well, let's get started with a few questions here for our readers for you, and see if we can't get our readers to know a little bit more about Aiden. One of the questions we have for you, Aiden, is as a singer-songwriter, what is it that you write about, and why do you write it?
Well, for me, my songs are personal diaries. That's how I always approach it, and it's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So I always really, for me, everybody kind of deals with certain things their own way. For me, I always go to the pen and the paper, and I write what I'm going through down, and I work it out that way. That's how I heal.
That's how you heal.
And I guess that's the best way to say it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do, and that's my therapy.
And that's how you do it. So, all right. So then, what how do I say it here? What helps you write, such songs as that, as your new release, Nobody Said? What helps you write things like that? Is it, like you said, is it because of life that you write it, or is there more to it?
Well, I wrote Nobody Said out of a relationship, someone that I dated for a brief time.
Mm-hmm.
It was short-lived, but we had a great connection.
Yeah, I think I read that.
Yeah, and it was one of those intense romances that didn't work out, but left a real impression and lesson with me. And, it's about knowing that this person really had deep feelings for me, but was so shut down emotionally that they could not really let me in and show their true self. And, for me, it was like a mirror. It was a mirror of me really looking at myself.
Really?
Kind of thinking, yeah, it really was. And it was like, for me, it was looking at it and going, well, what is it about this person? What is it about this experience that's really registering with me? And what it really came down to is that I was thinking to myself that this is about me.
Right.
I'm like, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Like we get into relationships and, we're so quick to point the finger at somebody and say,
yeah.
You did this, and you did that, and you're doing this to me.
I know all about it. Absolutely. They're never easy. They're always work.
and so for me, when I wrote Nobody Said, I thought, well, let's turn this around. The surface is everything that I just said, but the deeper core of this is really about what I'm doing and what I'm bringing to it.
Right.
And, maybe I wasn't so available. Maybe I wasn't so ready for the relationship. So it was a big lesson for me.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be. Well, we go through them every day, don't we? So on that same note, yes, we do. So on that same note then, so does writing make you feel better, like emotionally? Does it strengthen you?
It strengthens me. It makes me feel better. It makes me more aware. It's a release for me. It's like when I go on the stage. Mm-hmm. Right up until that moment, there's so much, I have anxiety and I'm nervous or I'm excited. There's many things that go into it. But when I'm up there, it's like I feel like I'm flying. And
well, that's good.
That's really the best way to describe it. And when I come off, I feel like I've landed.
It's such a rush.
It is a rush.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's an incredible rush, and it's great when everything comes together and when you have a great show. And, you feel the audience's energy and you connect with them. And that's how I feel like when I write a song, when I put something out, is that I connect and I'm able to express myself through my music. And I'm blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, because that's not easy to do, especially to put it down and to sing it to people. I imagine it can't be too easy to do. So here's a good question for you. Say in 5 years, where does Aiden see himself? Not so much just musically, but even in life.
In life, that's a really good question, and I think about that a lot. For me, if you would have asked me where I would be in 5 years ago, or what had maybe have gone in my life, I probably would be pretty off the mark. I'm not really quite sure. I'll tell you, for me, my music has led me down so many different roads.
I bet it has, yes.
I started off in theater, then I got into pop music, and through my through performing and doing pop music the last few years, I've become more involved in charity work. I'm working with AmFAR.
Right.
Which has been a great experience.
We were going to ask you about that.
Yeah, it's become a great experience for me to have been given so much in my life the last few years.
Right.
To finally give back and to be so connected to a cause that I really believe in.
Now, why did you decide to do that? Go to help out with AmFAR and Generation Cure?
Well, it's just something. It's a cause that I think really needs attention to, and that people have forgotten. Now, how they say never forget. It's really, I think, running a dangerous line these days. I think it's really important for people to stay aware,
right,
and to stay connected. And AmFAR, I believe that there is probably going to be a cure in our lifetime.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to hope so.
I think so. Yeah, we hope so. And
many people have been lost, though. Unfortunately, many people. I've lost many friends myself. I only wish, I only wish they could have hung in there, but they didn't. And it's sad.
I mean, it's the state of the disease has changed a lot, but there are people that are that have obviously passed and still have problems, and I think it's important that we just put our attention back on it, and especially with the younger generation.
Right, especially.
And I'm working with AmFAR, with this Generation Cure, which is really focusing on young people.
Right. And
getting the message out that way. So, that's something that I really feel connected to, and
that's, like it's funny that you said that, because I was going to talk to you about youth. What would you say to the gay youth of today? What would be what would you let them know? How should they behave, or how should they lead their lives? I guess. Now that you mentioned about
it's such an incredible time right now in the LGBT community. To be gay and to be young, it's such in this time right now.
Right.
It's so great, because there's so many freedoms that
we did not have once upon a time.
Exactly, and it's just a different world today.
Yes,
and
it is.
It's so, more than ever, it's so important to really be yourself. And
right.
That can sound so cliche, but it's so true.
It's very true.
And there's so much. I take myself back to the music, and I think back to just a few years ago in the music business. You just did not talk about it. If you were gay, or
right,
if it was an issue, it was like you stayed away from it. But now the game has totally changed.
Yes, it has.
And there's lots of gay artists, and if you're gay, you can still have a recording career. And
what how do you feel about that? I mean, there are lots of. I'm sure there's still a lot of actors and actresses and singers and many different types of people out there who are not out or have not come out. I mean, definitely it's to each their own. But I mean, do you think it was better for you have you always been out before you became a performer, or did you do that afterwards?
No, I wasn't always out. And when I did a single with Junior Vasquez, a few years ago, and when I first came out with that single, it was like, okay, I didn't really talk about the fact that I was gay, but I didn't really, I didn't really put it out there. And then I did another single shortly after that, and then I took a break from music for many different reasons.
Really?
My sister had passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I had a lot of, it was a tough time, and I was taking care of my parents, who were both not well, and so I was really searching for myself. And when I got back into music, I thought, you know what, I'm going to approach this in a very different way. This time I'm going to sing what I want. I'm going to do the type of music that I want. I'm going to, I'm going to do this my way.
Right.
And I'm going to release it on my own record label. I'm going to create my own record label. And I'm not going to live by what everybody else thinks I should be doing, you know, as a formula for success. And so
Right.
when I did the song Worlds Away, I came out with it, and I said, you know what, I don't care what the reaction's going to be. I didn't set out to do anything with it, you know, in terms of it being a success. So when I went back into music, that was my intention, to do what I love and to put something out that was important.
Well, you do it well.
I did that. I'm sorry?
That you do it well.
Oh, well, thank you. But, you know, when I did that with Worlds Away, I never would have imagined that, you know, as soon as we put it out within the first week, that it was going to be picked up by MTV. And then when MTV picked it up, then it was VH1. And then after VH1 picked it up, then Logo picked it up. And then Logo, you know, it was number one on Logo for a month.
Wonderful.
No one, if you would have ever had predicted, I never would have predicted that. And that's just a real example of, like, not necessarily going by the formula.
Right.
And doing what you love. And, you know, I've learned that if you do that, then everything else will fall into place.
It does, and I follow that same rule. You have to. Everyone says that you have to do what you love. I mean, what's the point of it? You know, if you don't,
it will resonate.
It will drive you crazy.
And you know, and if it doesn't, it will resonate with you, and that's what's most important. Because at the end of the day, it's what you've put out, and it's what you're doing as an artist, and that's what really is going to last. You know, you hope that people will remember it and connect to it many years down the line.
Right.
But if they don't, then you're the only one that will, and that's really what's most important.
And there you go, and there you have it. Words from AidenLeslie. You know, so what's new for you now? What are you going to be doing next? What's on Aiden's plate?
Well, we just got out the single of Nobody Said, which I'm so excited
which
about.
I like that song very much. It's very good.
Thank you. Thank you. We're now just finishing up the remixes.
Oh, good.
Nobody Said. So it's really exciting to hear, you know, all these different stories being told a different way.
Right.
The song. So we're just finishing up that, and then I'm working on, you know, I'll be releasing a new single this winter, as well as touring and getting out there. So, you know, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah, and working with Amphar, yes. You are a pretty busy guy.
And working with Amphar.
And you took time on your busy schedule to speak with us, and we certainly do appreciate that. We finally caught up with you. I see you all the time on Facebook, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and I was glad we were able to nail you down before the holidays. And this will be out in our big holiday issue, December 22nd. So to our readers out there, I want you all to, as words from Aiden, get out from behind your computer and cell phone. But before you do, folks, I want you to go out and get Aiden's new song, Nobody Said, because I know you'll enjoy it as much as I did. And we absolutely had a wonderful time speaking with Aiden. Aiden, we want to thank you so much. And we hope that we'll have you again someday. We'll wait for your next song to come out. When's it coming out again? Your next song, winter? Or when did you say that?
This winter.
This winter,
yep.
yes.
You'll be hearing another song in the next couple of
Good.
months.
We will keep an eye out for you on Facebook. And when you can find Aiden on Facebook, I'm not sure, is it just AidenLeslie? It's
AidenLeslie Music.
Okay.
So it's AidenLeslie Music spelled
Wonderful.
out. That's my fan page, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram.
And they can find your music probably everywhere if they just follow you. Absolutely,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Well, Aiden, you have a fantastic night. I'm so glad you called us, and we hope that we wish you much success, and we hope that the newspaper gets a chance to speak with you again in the future.
Thanks so much, Peter.
No problem, Aiden. You have a good evening.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.